Today's episode of Kwibuka podcast sheds light on the devastating effect of continuous incitement of citizens by leaders. On this day, 27 years ago, President Kwibuka visits Gikongoro and holds a meeting with authorities to plan more efficient killings. This led to the rapid increase of murder rates in the region. April 18, 1994. Massacres perpetrated against the Tutsi in the former Kibuye, Gitarama, Cyangugu, Butare, and Kigali prefectures. On April 18, 1994, members of the genocidal government, including Edouard Karemera, who was supposed to be the Minister of Local Government, visited Gitarama to mobilize people to start genocide. On that day, President Theodore Kwibuka visited Gikongoro and held a meeting with authorities of Gikongoro Prefecture to organize the killings at Kaduha, Murambi, Cyanika, and all the sites of Gikongoro Prefecture. Former Gatkwaro Stadium was built in former Bwishura Sector, Gitesi Commune, Kibuye Prefecture, currently Karongi District, Bwishura Sector, Kibuye Cell, and Gatkwaro Village. Tutsis were taken to the stadium by the authorities, especially Prefet Kayishema Clement, under the pretext that they wanted to maintain their security while they assembled at the same place. Most refugees who were taken at Gatkwaro Stadium had survived massacres from elsewhere, like Kibuye Church, Home Saint Jean, and Mubuga Church. Many others came from Mabanza Commune and walked a distance of 19 kilometers towards Kibuye Prefecture and then to Gatkwaro Stadium. Before entering the stadium, all their belongings were confiscated, including their sticks. In the following days, all water pipes supplying the stadium were cut and they got very sick due to poor hygiene. And those who were injured or sick and tried to go to Kibuye Hospital nearby the stadium, they were shot at and retreated to the stadium. The prefect Kayishema would not allow any well-wisher to provide anything to refugees. A German doctor, Wolfgang Blam, together with Dr. Hitimana Leonard, continued to care for Tutsis who were injured and in difficult conditions. Among the killers, there were Joseph Mhambara Interahamwe from Mugonero, a brother to Obed Ruzindana, who was convicted of genocide crimes by the ICTR and sentenced to 25 years of imprisonment. Joseph Mhambara fled to the Netherlands and was convicted by the local courts on July 9, 2011 for the crimes of genocide and was sentenced to life imprisonment. On April 18, 1994, Kayishema Clement launched the massacres of Gatkwaro Stadium by shooting dead an Adventist pastor, Munyakaragwe Ezekiel, with the gun that he requested from the gendarme. He came with armed Interahamwe, gendarme, police, soldiers, and other Hutu civilians. They surrounded the stadium and others went on to Gatkwaro Hill above the stadium. Prefet Kayishema led by example and invited them to start killing Tutsis. They were killed with guns, grenades, machetes, and other various traditional weapons. On that very day, they killed Tutsis till 6 p.m. Afterwards, some soldiers left while Interahamwe stayed overnight to check for any survivor who would escape during the night. At night, surviving Tutsis gathered the corpses of their colleagues and tried to give first aid at hand to those who were seriously injured. Later on, during the night, Interahamwe decided to leave the stadium to come back in the morning. They went to celebrate at the neighboring bar. Early morning on April 19, 1994, around 6 a.m., they came back at the stadium to finish off those who were breathing. Kayishema was convicted of genocide crimes by the ICTR and sentenced for life imprisonment. He died in prison in Mali. Kayumbu Bridge is located in Nyarusanje Village, Karengera Cell, Musambira Sector, Kamonyi District. On April 18, 1994, the head priest Pio Ntahobari, together with Gwakaigamba, a teacher, and a church secretary called Nyagahene, denied entrance in the church for the Tutsi refugees, saying that they would destroy it. They camped in the market opposite the church. They were chased away by killers who said that the Tutsis' god stayed at Kabgai, that they should go there instead. They descended towards Chibuza, where the current genocide memorial in Kamonyi is located, where they met an attack which they managed to escape from, before they could meet another one at Gaperi, where killers killed only men and boys. The survivors of those attacks arrived at Musambira Parish, where they met the head priest and they were lucky to have the church open for them. Next morning on April 19th, a truck full of soldiers arrived at the church and held a meeting with war-displaced Hutus from Kivuye, Byumba. After the meeting, the priest told Tutsi refugees to leave, especially those who had come later. Interahamwe ran after them with machetes, while soldiers and presidential guards went to Kayumbu Bridge and started shooting at them one by one until bodies were all over the bridge. After the shootings, soldiers left the survivors to local citizens and Interahamwe who were using traditional weapons to finish them, and they took their possessions. Most of the killers at Kayumbu Bridge were not known in the area because many were soldiers who were not from the area. In the former Kamembe commune, many Tutsis were killed at Nhanga parish, at the commune, and at Busekanga. From April 8, 1994, Tutsis started fleeing to Nhanga parish because the killings had already started in Gitkwa and Murambi, and Interahamwe had started burning their homes. All Tutsis came to the parish because the Burgomestre had promised them safety. His motive was to be aware of the exact number of Tutsis and to prevent them from fleeing to DR Congo, former Zaire. On April 17, 1994, the Burgomestre of Kamembe Commune, Mubirigi Jean Napoleon, and the head priest of Nhanga Parish, Jirinshuti Tade, held a meeting with local notorious Interahamwe to plan the killings of the Tutsis. The next day, on April 18, 1994, Interahamwe killed them using grenades, wooden clubs, machetes, and other weapons. Before they would be allowed refuge, Father Jirinshuti Tade took away all their traditional weapons, including sticks, spears, machetes, bows, and arrows, to prevent them from self-defense in case they were attacked. The room that belonged to policemen who were at the parish was full of guns, grenades, which were used by Interahamwe on April 18, 1994. The same day, 60 Tutsis who had taken refuge at Kamembe commune were killed. They were first hidden by a staff of the commune, Gatera Kazmir, who was intimidated by the Burgomestre, saying that he should send them out before Interahamwe destroyed the entire office, searching for them. When he let them out, they were killed on the spot. On April 18, 1994, Tutsis were slaughtered at Nyabitima Parish, Karengera, Cyangugu, Mubirizi Hospital, Chimbogo. Simbi sector was located at the former Maraba commune, led by the Burgomestre Habineza Jean-Marie Vianney since September 1990. He hated Tutsis since his appointment. Habineza, together with policemen, went to Simbi Serayi, Centre d'enseignement rural et artisanal intègre, and took Mazimaka Grégoire, the principal, as well as teacher called Kanobaire Jean-Baptiste of Tiendajuru, and tied them, saying that they were looking for guns. He closely monitored and trained Interahamwe to make traditional weapons that were used to kill Tutsis, like wooden clubs called Nhamhongano, translated without mercy, bows and arrows, spears, and supplied them with other weapons, which included machetes, guns, and grenades. Habineza also prepared Tutsi lists and identified their locations to facilitate the killings. Since the attack of RPF in Hotanyi, no Tutsi from Maraba was allowed to leave Maraba commune without a laissez-passer supplied by communal authorities. Between April 10th and 17th, 1994, all Tutsis from Maraba were gathered at Simbi Church. 3 policemen, Huriza, Kanani Antoine, and Nyirimana Canisius, ensured security of the refugees at the church, and they only killed them after the visit of the president Sindi Kubgabo, who blamed them for taking long to kill Tutsis. He then sent soldiers to help Interahamwe to kill them. On April 18, 1994, Interahamwe from Gikongoro and Maraba, soldiers, gendarmes, and policemen attacked them at the church. It was on a broad daylight when Interahamwe climbed over the church and took off the iron shades and poured petrol over them. Bushachiro poured chili powder among them and suffocated them. Afterwards, Interahamwe smashed doors and threw grenades and stones at them and entered the church to kill those who were breathing. About 40,000 Tutsis were massacred on that day. After killing Tutsis in Simbi Church, the Burgomestre Habineza sent Interahamwe called Ruzindana Celestin to the sisters' home to inform the latter that the next to be killed are Tutsis at Simbi Health Center. They immediately went and killed Sister Peter Claver, Sister Paul, and Sister Pelagie. Sister Gervais was hit on her head by a club and did not die on spot, but she became blind. Tutsis who had taken refuge at the health center were also killed. The masterminds behind these massacres were former municipal policemen Nkuriza, Antoine Kanani, Nyirimana Canisius, Sebarinda Celestin, Nshemiyumukiza Clement, the assistant burgomestre Rwabuhungu Sylvestre, president of MDR Power, Mujambere Antoine, former teacher and the president of MRND, and others who had come from Gikongoro. Between 2,000 to 3,000 Tutsis were killed on that day in Kijembe commune and Butare. Many Tutsis from around Kamembe town and Rusizi were killed at Kamembe. From April 18, 1994, Interahamwe started to attack Tutsis in their homes and rushed them to Kamembe near the New Market and in the nearby coffee plantations to be killed. They were led by Napoleon Mubiligi, the former Kamembe Burgomestre, Haruna Rizinde, who represented MRND in Kamembe, and the councillor of Kamembe sector called Muruku. The killers in Kamembe town included local Interahamwe and Burundian refugees. Most prominent Interahamwe were Kanyaruchiko Kasim, Njenzenuku Hassan, Haruna Nsengiyumva alias Chenga, Swaib alias Apis, Chimhutu Nsengiyumva, and many others. Massacres of Tutsis in Rwamagana, Mwurire, at Sovu School. Before the genocide, Tutsis who lived in the former Bichumbi commune were very oppressed by the former Burgomestre Semanza. After Habyarimana's plane crash, all Tutsis were ordered to stay in their homes. On April 7, 1994, Hutu attacks started to invade Tutsi homes and killed them. However, some Hutus joined their Tutsi colleagues to fight back the killers with the purpose of suppressing the attacks in Mwurire sector. Those Hutus were called in a meeting by Interahamwe and MRND leaders to inform them to avoid supporting Tutsis, who resisted for a further 2 weeks. Tutsis from Mwurire, Nzige, Gahenjeri, Rubona, Rutonde, Bichumbi were all gathered on the hill of Gisanza, where they were attacked on April 18, 1994. Over 15,000 Tutsis were killed. Others were killed at a nearby roadblock located near the Baptist Church, where over 400 Tutsis were killed. Over 50,000 Tutsis were killed in Kavuya Swamp and in the home of the councillor Bakunduchize Jean. The same day, Tutsis who had taken refuge at Sovu School, Rwamagana, were killed, especially children, women and old women. Before killing them, girls and women were raped and killers would throw chili powder in their private parts. On April 18, 1994, those who had killed Tutsis of Mwurire supported local Hutus of Sovu to exterminate those who were at the school. On April 18, 1994, Tutsis were killed at Nyabitimba Parish, Karengera in Cyangugu, Mibirizi Hospital in Kimbogo Commune. Cyangugu, the massacres continued on April 20th until the 30th, 1994. The same day in Kijembe Commune in Butare Prefecture, between 2,000 and 3,000 Tutsis were killed. Thank you for listening to another episode of Kwibuka Podcast. As always, make sure you leave us a review, sharing what you like about the podcast, and share with others who would be interested in listening.